What's going on, guys? Brain is back with another list, I guess. So everyone's been going around with their top 10 video games of all time. Figured I'd give this one a crack. Um, I had a little bit of a problem going for 10. So I have my list of top 10 and I have a list of honorable mentions. So I think we'll start with the honorable mentions and then we'll go from the top 10 list. Uh, First off, with the honorable mentions, we have the original Devil May Cry. I'm not real big on hack and slashes or even like Japanese RPGs and like that type of like animation and stuff like that. But God, that game had something special that I loved. It was between Dante and the godly characters, and it was just an awesome game. Next up, we have Jurassic Park for the Sega Genesis. Um, Probably half of you people weren't even alive when that came out, but man, that game was like part of my childhood. That was a core memory of my childhood, and it took me till last year to figure out how to actually beat the damn game. I actually had to look up how to beat the damn thing. Um, Next up on the honorable mentions, we have Daytona USA for the Sega Saturn. Yes, I was one of the 15 people in the US to have a Sega Saturn. But I vividly remember um, playing Daytona and listening to Metallica's Ride the Lightning because it was right around the time when I started getting into music at the same time. So I figured I would start off with one of the greatest bands of all time and like go from there. And so I vividly remember listening to For Whom the Bell Tolls while plowing through Daytona. It was just one of those things that's locked in my brain, right? Um, and then we're gonna go with my choice of all of the GTA's. I'm gonna go with Vice City. Um, I know I put so many hours into it, and like I didn't really like San Andreas, and like I really haven't played much GTA since then. But like I like three and Vice City, and like I don't know, just the whole Scarface, Miami Vice thing appealed to me. Obviously, you still see the colors that I use on the channel is the whole retro wave thing. So I guess it's still stuck in my brain somewhere. And then the last for the honorable mentions, as I don't know if many of you guys remember this one, but Rocket Knight Adventures for the Sega Genesis. Um, I know they've had a couple sequels or remakes since then. I think one was called like Sparkster or something like that. It was it was another one of those like games that like the style I wasn't usually attracted to, but I know I put so many hours into it, and it was just it's a game that I will still log on my emulator and still play. It's just one of those fun games, man. It was just a cool character, and just I loved it. Now on to the main event, right? So those were my five honorable mentions. Now we're gonna go into my top 10 video games slash franchises because it's my fucking list and I can do whatever I want. So I'm not. So there's a couple two pieces in here, but you know what? It's my list. First off, Halo 3. I so much multiplayer, and it was just the graphics at that time was unbeatable, right? Just, I mean, the whole first couple of Halos were amazing in their own right. The three was pinnacle for me. It just, it was just that good. And now we're gonna go on to number 9, which is probably the first FPS that really did well, and that was 007 GoldenEye. the amount of hours I spent with my friends playing this game is a lot. Is a lot. I just remember just blocking the TV and doing all that stuff, man. It was a fun time. And then we're gonna go back to some more racing with Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. Uh, if I had to pick one, it would be 2. Just it was right around the time when like I was really into cars, and even if they were imports, it was still a fun game. The music was awesome. The graphics looked great. The cars were awesome. Just yeah, and whatever her name was, I can't remember what it is, but. And then we're gonna stick with the racing and go with Gran Turismo 3 A Spec. Now, when I say I spent a lot of time playing this game, there were 24-hour races. um, I put a lot of hours with me and my friends. We would take turns doing those endurance races. Just like it was, a lot of these games are time spent with friends. They weren't necessarily the greatest games of all time, but for me, it's the memories that have been ingrained in my head. So, A-Spec is definitely up there. At the time, it had some of the greatest cars of all time in its inventory, and like, yeah, just a great game, and it set up the standard for a lot of racing games from that point on. And then number 6, we're gonna go with WWE. I think it's that. Still F. I don't know. No Mercy, the greatest wrestling game of all time. They're still making emulators and copycats, and like, yeah, just so good, so good. Oh man, that was another one where I spent tons of time with friends, but I was able to play it tons by myself. So like, reason it was just it had one of the best rosters, or one of the best times, and like the ladder matches, the move sets, still inspirational for so many wrestling games out there today. I mean, you look at the AEW game that came out a couple years ago, was blatantly inspired by No Mercy. And then number 5, the entire Time Splitter series, 1, 2, and Future Perfect. Um, if you guys want to know where Destroy the Brain came from, it was my head count average, headshot average on Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect. Just another one, played with the boys, and just the art style, the game modes, Virus, which we lovingly called the HIV, and it, I became a monster at the proxy mines, to the point where we were no longer allowed to play with them because I was that good with the proxies. Yeah, it was just the art style, the comedy, the writing. Overall, the series was phenomenal, and I really want them to get back to it again. I would love another Future Perfect game or Time Splitters game. Now, number 4, Horseman style. We're gonna go Black Ops 1 and 2. If I had to put anything Call of Duty in here, it would be Black Ops 1 and 2. Once again, playing with the boys. The amount of shit talking in those lobbies um, would probably get me canceled. So we're not going to go back there. But it was the amount of fun we had playing that game was amazing. Now the 3, 2, and 1 are probably going to be fairly obvious if you know me and my Twitch channel or anything that I put up on YouTube, right? Number 3, we're going to go with Ark Survival Ascended. I'm going to go Evolved because it's just simply the older version. But ASA, or Ark in general, I've put so many hours into it. I love dinosaurs. I love mythical creatures. I just love everything about Ark. It's such a good game overall. And I understand the hate that it gets. And I understand that the hate is usually passion filled because they love the project. And I'm right there with them, but at the same time, like, I know the devs really care about their game as well. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I between ASA and ASC, I've sunk in a lot of hours, a lot of hours between the two. So you know that I love the game. Um, yeah, just when there's nothing else to play, there's always Ark, and that goes into number 2, which is the main reason I have a channel, and that is 7 Days to Die. Uh, 7 Days has been that game for me where it's just literally if I can just plug and play, just start it up, day one punch grass, day one punch grass, and I will be okay with it because it's always been there. It's got me through long times, dark times, sad times, happy times. I've met a lot of friends. I've made a little bit of money. You know, when I say that most of these games have been playing with the boys, playing with friends, 7 Days is the one that has given me so many friends that I would have never met in my entire life, simply through Twitch and YouTube. And just, I'm forever grateful for the Pims and the game that they brought, and I hope that they never stop making it. Yes, I have my gripes. Everyone has their gripes on the game, but you know what? I still will play the game until it gets delisted from Steam, I guess. And then number 1, Assassin's Creed. I could go the whole franchise, but I'm going to go strictly with the Ezio collection. Not necessarily that game in general, where it's all 3 of them, but the Ezio storyline. Ezio has always been that character where just like, I don't necessarily embody him. Obviously, I'm not a very handsome Italian man at all. But like, he is the embodiment of the character that you want to be, and he was a character that you saw from his birth all the way to the Embers video where he dies, and and something like that you don't really get too often in a video game series. Like, you don't get to see someone's entire life, and you see the genesis of their entire story. And but just, you see how angry he is at the beginning to understanding at the end, and just, yeah. So definitely the Ezio story 1, and then I would probably put the Kenways number 2. Um, and that goes all the way from 3 to Black Flag to even, spoiler, Unity. Well, parts of Unity, I guess. But yeah, that's where it is. It's, where my list go? Halo 3. Oh. So the top 10 list: Halo 3, 007, Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, Gran Turismo 3, No Mercy, Time Splitter series, Black Ops 1 and 2, Ark ASA, 7 Days to Die, and 1, the Assassin's Creed Ezio series. Let me know what you guys think about the whole list. There it is, right there. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you liked, what you don't like, and how does your list differ from mine. Have a good one. Take care.